VA disability programs breed laziness. Let's talk about that. What's up, everybody? My name is Morgan Houston, aka Whiskey Mo, the internet's least famous academic. One thing that you may not know about me is that I am a disabled veteran. I currently stand as an 80% disabled veteran. I did 6 years in the U.S. Air Force as a tactical air control party operator. That is a branch of the Air Force Special Warfare where we conduct combat operations alongside our joint and coalition partners to provide precision strike as well as joint C2 capabilities. What does that mean, disabled? So in my case, I have ratings for injuries to my knees, tinnitus, PTSD, and I'm just continuing to fight with it and everything. But as today is the day after Veterans Day, I wanted to make this. I've been wanting to make this for a while. It's been a tough one for me to do. Recently, there was a Senate hearing in one of the Veterans committees, and Tommy Tuberville and one of the witnesses were making some pretty bold claims about veterans disability and the disability program. They, Daniel Cade, a former Army Lieutenant Colonel, WMPT, made a pretty bold and audacious claim that the disability programs breed laziness and that what we should be doing is trying to fix veterans so they can be contributing members to society. I want to see his evidence. He didn't present any that I could see. Anecdotally, as someone who works in a veteran space, I'm currently a veterans liaison librarian. I work in a city, Grand Junction, that is heavily veteran, in a county that has one of the highest per capita veteran populations in the country. And I don't see the laziness. I see veterans going to school. I see veterans starting businesses. I see veterans taking charge and becoming members of state legislatures, city councils, school boards. This to me does not scream laziness. I think this stems from a lot of the discussion around welfare programs. There has been, going back to at least Reagan, if not earlier, we hear things about the welfare cream, the people who are abusing the system, who are lazy, who are having kids just to up their welfare payment. And for decades now, the data just doesn't support this. Most people who receive any kind of welfare benefits are working. Most of them receive benefits that are not as much as people think they are. They're not able to sustain these very luxurious lifestyles. And the veterans, this is a promise that was made to us by this country when we decided to serve our nation. Right? This isn't something special that we get for being a class of citizen. This is a promise that when you join the United States Armed Forces, that you are going to potentially put yourself in harm's way, that if something were to happen to you, we are going to compensate you for it. Right? We are going to try and make you whole again. However, a lot of these things that we receive disability for are things that never go away. Tinnitus in my ear, that ringing will never go away. The comprehensive damage to my knees, there forever. My PTSD, no matter how many times I go to therapy, I'm still going to deal with the lasting implications of these things. And yet, despite of that, veterans have a significantly higher graduation rate in college. Veterans are much more entrepreneurial. Veterans are very successful in business, in the private sector and the public sector. This is not to say that we are better. It's just that we are able to gain a lot from the military. Leadership, followership, sense of purpose, communication skills, a lot of technical skills for a lot of people. The other problem is that these claims of fraud, waste, and abuse are in these systems, that veterans are taking advantage of the benefit system. Yes, this happens. You can't have a system without people trying to take advantage of it. That's human nature. The problem is we are trying to legislate the many based off the actions of a few. And if there's one thing that the military taught me, collective punishment don't work, right? This is when you start seeing rebellion. This is when you start seeing people who are just mad. I mean, we've seen it once when the promises that were made to veterans didn't come through with the veteran army that marched on DC after World War I. These are things that have happened. These are things that we can talk about, that we can point to in the past. The government made a promise to its veterans. When you sign that dotted line, you understand the risks that you are taking, but with that risk comes the promise that the government will attempt to make you whole again. I know that it seems ridiculous right now that the government is shut down. A lot of people are struggling right now, and a lot of veterans are struggling. And we are fortunate that our benefits don't turn off when the government shuts down. But the fact that they are talking about taking them away in the first place is something that is completely and utterly ludicrous, especially from someone like Tommy Tuberville, who has done nothing but coach mediocre football and has done nothing but withhold the ability to confirm general officer promotions, has done nothing but attack the organizations and the structures of America that make it safe, yet at the same time talking out of the other side of his mouth about how he respects the troops. Get the fuck out of here. Write your senator, write your congressman. This is something that needs to be protected. The veterans, if you support troops and you support national security, this is a thing that we need to keep on. That promise is one of the things that make it possible for people to enlist and to serve this nation honorably. Thanks for listening to this rant, guys. I know it's probably something a little bit wild, a little bit different, but it's really important to me. It's something that my brothers and sisters we have fought for, we have died for, and I really want this to not happen. So please, if you feel it heavy on your heart, do something about it if you can. Write your senator, write your congressman. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Happy belated Veterans Day to all my brothers and sisters out there. And until next time, y'all, be well.